I've made it this far through all the bommies. I've just killed the outboard, pulled it up because I actually have no idea how deep it is here. It looks about a metre, half a metre, but luckily I've got my paddle, so I'll just paddle myself to shore. There's a port and starboard marker there. So I came in through the entrance there, had no idea how deep those bommies were, so killed the motor, and then eventually I got washed up down the beach there. I pulled the tender up here because there'll still be very strong winds by the time I return, so it gives me time to push the tender out, put the outboard back in the water, start the outboard, and then hopefully by that time I would have drifted to about there, and then I can just shoot straight out those markers again and hopefully hit no bommies. The tide's gone out. It was high about an hour ago, so it's just going out, so hopefully it will still be just deep enough for me to get over it. But yeah, I'm so excited to explore this island. This is insanely beautiful. The shells here are spectacular, like the most amazing coral, bits of coral. Look at this shell! Oh my god, that looks like something out of a Disney movie. So I wanted to walk around the perimeter of the island, but Josh and I wanted to do that together, so I'm going to save that for him and I. But I can see that there's an entrance into the island. It's very small. I don't know what the size of it is. Hello, sweetheart. How lovely to meet you. Oh, I wish I knew what you were. Oh, you are gorgeous. Can I bring the camera closer? Oh, webbed feet. Okay, so you're obviously a marine bird. You got your mate up there. Such a pleasure. As you were. I didn't grow up with boats, so I didn't really know much about them before we moved aboard, and obviously everything that I'm learning and doing everything for the first time and using the tender on my own, or more so the outboard on my own, is something that I'm getting better at. We did have a different outboard, a 4-stroke that we were trialing out for a little while, and then we decided on the 2-stroke, so it's a bit of a clunky old outboard, so it's a little bit funny to use. And I think with around bommies and stuff like that, making sure that I clip it up and get it up so the prop doesn't get damaged in time is a little bit stressful. We can't afford to have anything go wrong with this one, or have anything happen with the prop. So yeah, every time that I do this I get so scared, and then I'm like, oh, or sometimes like the thought of doing things alone, the thought of something bad happening discourages me from wanting to do it, so I just often rely on Josh, or I'll operate it when he's there. But I really love being able to go on these adventures alone and strengthen my self-confidence, especially, you know, doing it all for the first time. So anyways, let's go check out this forest. So we're going to walk through the Pisonia forest and see where it leads me. I can already hear so many birds, so I'm going to try and keep the talking to a limit. Oh, wow. This is like the forest of my childhood dreams. There's some more of those birds. Oh, they're black noddies. That's I just read that on the sign at the entrance of the forest. Black noddies. I can see all of these birds darting around here, and they're shearwaters, and shearwaters nest in these burrows that you can see from December to May. And then in April, the parents leave the nest and they leave the chicks on their own to defend themselves, and the chicks survive on their fatty deposits. And then a month later in May, the chicks leave the nest and fly to following their parents to the northern hemisphere. So we probably just missed them, but there's still a few hanging around. A few little stragglers. Oh, look, there's one. Oh, this is such a beautiful forest. I can't tell you how nice it is hearing so much bird life, because most of the parks that we've been to, most of the anchorages that we've been to have been so heavily populated by marine vessels, yachts and motor vessels, that it's loud and it's aggravating for nature. So to just hear so much bird life even now as I'm speaking, which could otherwise be scary for a lot of birds, it's overwhelming. So in my handy dandy little backpack, I don't know what to expect, so I was like, I'm gonna bring some exercise bands in case I want to do a workout on the beach. I didn't realize that it was going to be like this, but anyway, always prepared for a workout. And then I brought 2 books. I brought a journal and I brought Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza. I'm not even going to open this backpack. Like, I am just completely overwhelmed by the beauty and vastness of this forest, and also to be here completely alone. It's not something that I often get to do as a woman, you know, to be able to walk through a forest alone and not be like ready to karate chop at any moment. It honestly feels like I'm a child again. No care in the world, just exploring with new eyes. Look, there's another shearwater. I'm the oldest of 3 girls. I have 2 younger sisters, and my entire childhood was spent outside. I grew up in suburbia, but we always had a big backyard, every house that we lived, and my sisters and I grew up in that backyard. We were building cubby houses in the trees, we were sleeping outside, building teepees, forts. Every day of the school holidays we'd be playing outside. Every day after school we'd be playing outside. There was not one boring moment in my childhood, and I'm so grateful to my sisters for that. But what I'm most grateful for is the imagination that it gave me, and being able to create these enigmatic storylines, these complex plots that would sometimes go for weeks. You know, it wouldn't be an afternoon of play. We would continue the same storyline over and over. And one of my personal favorites was Jungle Girl. Being deserted on an island, it was almost like my fantasy. I watched Castaway when I was like 10 and it just sparked something in me. Blue Lagoon as well. The thought of being stranded on an island amongst all of the animals, amongst the trees, finding my own food, building my own home, wearing nothing, making fire. And I think that's why when Josh and I discovered that we wanted to go sailing, it was a no-brainer for me, because I knew that I'd be able to pursue that life. When else would an adult woman be able to live like a child? Sailing gives me the opportunity to do that and to connect with my inner child and play, something that is lost in day-to-day life, especially the 9-to-5 work life. It doesn't leave a lot of space for creative play. And it's also kind of, you know, frowned upon. People believe that it's a little bit childish. I keep finding these clumps in the trees, and I think they're black knotty nests. There's like, oh, they are. Oh my God, they're nests. Please don't poo on me, but if you do, it would be an honor. Oh, look at that little nest. Oh, I love these birds. I know this sounds silly because I'm a 24-year-old woman, but being able to have this time away from Josh, away from my partner, or from anyone else really, apart from the black knotties, connect with that youthful enthusiasm, that zest for life that we had as kids, without any judgmental eyes. I know that Josh would never judge me for playing, or, you know, especially imaginative play, but this is going to be something that I do regularly now that we start cruising, is going on these walks on my own, playing maybe, I don't know. But it's just, this is a dream. Honestly, this walking through this forest is a dream come true. So Josh and I were told that this island, that used to be able to camp on this island, and there was a ranger who lived permanently on here, but apparently there's centipedes on this island. I'm not sure if this is like, who knows if this is the real reason. This is like that story that every town has, that there's like a rogue, oh my God. Story that every town has, that every child in every town knows, and it's the story of how there's a jaguar, a wild jaguar, roaming the bush because there was a circus that came to town and the jaguar got loose. I was living in suburban Gold Coast and there was that tale going around, and you best believe that I believed it. Everywhere I went, every child that I talked to, every friend that I would visit would tell me that there was a wild jaguar loose in their neighborhood or loose in the bush, right? So I feel like this story is very similar to that, but apparently this ranger lived on this island and he could not anymore because of these centipedes, because of these big ass centipedes. I might have to read a board and find out exactly the truth, because I'm telling you, it's the jaguar cycle all over again. So we've made it to the beach. I'm not sure what side this is yet. I don't want to pull out the compass. I'll just have a look once we're out here. The coral and the dry grass and the color of the water, it reminds me a lot of Nusa Penida actually. Wow, this is beautiful! So this is the southern side. Oh, yep, there we go, there's the anchorage. Okay, so that's south. This is the southern side of the island. So I don't know, I feel like the tide is low enough for me to walk around, but I'm gonna be walking along beaches probably for the rest of my life. So I'm gonna go back in the forest. And I think it's the wrong time of year, but I know that there are nesting turtles here and also bridal terns, so which are birds, and they have their nests in the grass, so it's hard to see them. So yeah, look, this is nice. Onshore wind, not so nice, especially when you've got a fringe like this. So yeah, jury's back in. We're going back in the forest. Oh, there we go. So November to February, turtles hatch. They're loggerhead. Oops, hold on. They lay their eggs November and February, and then January to May they emerge. So we missed the turtles as well as the shearwaters. That's okay. I don't know why, but something tells me that the birds really like this pandanus tree. Just a hunch. These black knotty nests are so interesting. It almost looks like the way that they're formed, it's not woven like most birds. It kind of just looks like, you know, when you're at primary school or even high school, depending on where you're from, people would wet toilet paper and throw it up on the roof. I never did that. That's what these nests look like, but in the opposite direction. It looks like they've just splattered. Love your work, guys. Just big admirer here. One thing I can say though is that this forest stinks. It's not a bad stink, it just has a stink about it. It's got that stink of decomposition, of poo, of life, of worms. Like, I just know that if I dug a little bit, there would be some funky little creatures dancing around in that muck. Like, it's actually really invigorating to be at ground level beneath a canopy like this. Oh, dodging shit. And just being able to absorb all of these different smells. You know, in day-to-day life as a human, we have so much control over our environment, around the way things smell, around, I don't know. So it's really, really nice to be in a little bit of an uncomfortable area. Oh, mozzie. So I'm taking this path now. We've gone the southern side. This will hopefully take me to the northwestern side of the island, and then I can just walk up to the tender and get the rest of that afternoon light. I would really love to climb a tree, but all of the climbable trees are in the shearwater nesting area. There isn't any like little barricades, whereas there was at the entrance. So maybe it's not an active site, but I don't really want to take that risk, because who am I to encroach on their space, on their nesting space? Yeah, look, there's a shearwater. Yeah. These trees look so fun to climb, but I don't think I'll have many trees to climb in the future. For now, I can just observe. Look, there's one. Hi, little one. Love what you've done with the place. The reason they've got these little barricades up is because obviously standing over them will crush them and possibly crush the nests or the adults. So I'm really glad they've got this up. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Wow, it's like an oasis. Oh. Oh. Wow. So this is actually where I wanted to pull the tender up, because I knew that I'd be protected from the wind. It's completely glass out conditions here. Wow. Oh. Oh, gorgeous. back now because as the sun is setting, I'm not going to have any light to be able to see the bombies on my way out. I forgot about that. Okay, see ya. Also, wish me luck. Tide hasn't dropped too much, but it's a bit of a drag. But I'm glad I got a porter boat. Can drag this thing over anything, if I can drag it. Oh my God, I did it. That was really hectic. I'm about to go through the markers and then hopefully I'll be able to dodge the rest of the bombies, but that was so scary. The wind is so strong. Prop didn't hit the bottom, didn't hit any coral or anything, but I had the wind pushing against me too, so yeah, it was a bit wild. But I've been really enjoying getting the tender on the plane, so I'm gonna jet it home. Thanks for hanging out with me. That was really fun. Josh is keen for me to release this episode because if he ever goes clinically insane after a lifetime of sailing with me, people will know why. Okay, bye.